for tuning in. I'm your host, Bianca Cotton, and this is Behind the Confident Smile. On this episode, we're diving into a very important topic that touches millions of families across the country, caring for and supporting a sibling with special needs. In the United States, there are over 11.2 million children with special needs. That means 1 in 5 households is navigating this experience. But today, we're shifting the focus to the siblings, the unsung heroes who live and grow alongside a brother or sister with unique experiences. I'm thrilled to be joined by 2 incredible siblings who are going to share their journeys, their insights, and their experiences in supporting their sibling with special needs. Welcome to Behind the Confident Smile, LaKara and Kadince.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with me today.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
No problem. I'm ready to dig into this conversation with y'all. After listening to you all this past summer at a panel, I was like, they gotta be here.
Thank you.
So take us back. Do you remember the day that your brother was diagnosed with autism and what was going on in you all's lives at that time?
I do remember the day. It was a lot of difficulty because we were, kind of concerned and just worried about what was going on with him and why it was happening. But however, when we found out exactly what it was, like he went to the appointment, got diagnosed and everything, it was a very trying day. I know me personally, it was kind of confusing because I didn't know what that meant or what the future would look like for him. And then I became worried because I'm like, it's my brother. I want him to be okay and to be able to do things on his own and navigate and not need help. And a lot of the doctors at that time were telling us he won't be able to talk. He won't be able to do things on his own. He would need somebody with him at all times.
How old was he?
He was
at
2.
that time, 2.
Yeah.
Do you remember that day?
No. I was around 6 to 8 years old. I want to say I was 7, maybe 8. I know that looking back at the pictures of him with like all the machines put on him to like see his heartbeat and stuff like that, like through the pictures, you could see how like stressful it was and how like confusing all of this was. But I honestly don't remember anything from that.
You were 7. When you think about growing up, like from 7 to now you're a sophomore in high school, how has it been being a sibling of your brother who needs extra care and attention?
It's been stressful, but it's also days where it can be like extremely calm. So there'd be mornings where he'd wake up upset, so we'd have to like understand why he's upset and like go through the day with it. I don't know the actual word, but we'd have to like, we wouldn't get upset at him because he's upset, because everybody wakes up in a different tone and in a different mood or whatever. Some days he'd have accidents on himself, so we'd have to put him in the tub. Other days he'd wake up in like this beautiful mood and he'd be happy jumping around the place. And also I'd pack him lunches in the morning. So some days I'd pack him like a Lunchable with like oranges on the side, or some days I'd do like granola with go-go squeeze and more fruit. Recently he hasn't been eating a lot of his lunches, so he'll pick through the Lunchable and then he'll eat like an orange and that's it. Last year at his old school, he used to come home with homework, and I sometimes helped him with his homework, not all the time. I want to say that like every other day I'd help him with his homework, or every couple of days I'd help him with his homework. But from when I was helping him with his homework, it'd be really stressful because we'd be like, we have to get him to understand it, not us giving him the answer for it, because he still has to understand the context before we just give him the answer. So we'd have to like ask him like how many pigs are there for him to count it, and it used to be like he didn't know what that meant, or he didn't know how to do that, or he didn't know what a pig looked like. But now we can ask him like, what's 2 plus 3? And he will say 2 plus 3 equals 5 and stuff like that. So compared to how he was like 2, maybe 3 years ago, he's grew up and he's become like a more well-rounded version of himself. He talks more, he's more like verbal of what he wants and what he sees and stuff like that. So if he wants juice, he'll say juice. Or if he wants a certain kind of juice, because we make Kool-Aid and we have Kool-Aid packets in a little container, he'll grab it and he'll bring us a specific Kool-Aid container, a specific Kool-Aid packet. He'll also, like, if he wants his blanket, he'll say blanket, or he'll just go get his blanket and bring it to us. He loves ramen noodles, and he will see the packets, or he will see a pot of water boiling, and he will say noodles because he wants it.
Yeah. It's been very trying, but it's also been an astounding opportunity, I would say. Watching him from when he was first diagnosed to this very day, it makes me a proud sister, because he's not only teaching others, but and himself, he's also teaching me. Before my brother got diagnosed, I did not have patience at all in any situation or with anything. But one thing I can say that he taught me is how to be patient and how to be a little bit more understanding and how to adjust to others' needs as well. You know, it's not always about you. It's about, you know, helping everyone else out and considering others. So Dante has definitely taught me how to be patient, how to not just be frustrated and want to give up, because I look at him and I ask myself, how can I give up? If he can do it, I can do it too.
Yeah. How old is Dante now?
9.
9.
Yeah.
So you are the oldest sibling, right?
Yes.
So being the oldest, watching his journey and being more aware in the sense of something is happening. He's diagnosed at the age of 2. You said 2 years old?
Yes.
Now he's 9. You growing up in the awareness. Before Dante was diagnosed with autism, did you all know what autism was?
No.
Had you heard of it before?
No.
So this is a whole new world that your family is embarking upon. How did you see your parents navigate this new world?
Honestly, I don't know how they did it. And I don't mean that as in like I don't actually know how. I mean it as in like they handled it so well. They had their days, their sad days, their, you know, emotional days, their trying days, but they always pushed forward. They always asked questions and went to all appointments and went to schools. They called people trying to get resources on, you know, what is this? What is autism? How is autism handled? What can I do better to make sure that he is the best version of himself? And they also made sure when they got that information, they instilled it in us too. Still to this very day, I have my days, I have my trying moments. It does get difficult, but I always remember be patient.
Yeah.
It's going to work out.
Yeah. So for those who may be watching and don't know what autism is, can you share a little bit about what is it?
So my brother is autistic and he has global developmental delay. Autism just means it's kind of like a different mindset. He's still one of us, but he thinks differently. He runs differently. He has a different mindset.
Like he hears noises differently too.
Yeah,
so for
he's
him,
more used to patterns and what is another word?
Repetition.
Yes, a lot of repetition.
So like if we go to Walmart and we go left, right, left, we have to go left, right, left on the next Walmart trip. It has to be the exact same thing.
When we're going home, he's used to a certain way of going home. It takes a lot for him to break out of the habit of okay, we're going to go straight, we're going to make a right, we're going to make left, and our house is on the right. If we go anywhere outside of that travel trip, where are we going? What's happening? This isn't our usual route. It took a few years for him to adjust to not being able to actually go to the same thing and do the same thing over and over again every day. But for the most part, I feel like that's kind of what it is. He's still one of us. He just thinks differently and does things differently. He's more advanced than us, very much so. We can hide a piece of candy
And he will
today,
find it.
and I guarantee you in 4 months, he will go back to the exact same spot. You hear the Hershey bar there. I'm going to eat it.
He can solve a Rubik's Cube.
Really?
How old was he? He was like 6 or 7?
He hacked Subway Surfers.
It was interesting because we saw him playing with one character that we never had, and we've been playing Subway Surfers for like 5, maybe 10 years now. And we were like, what's going on? And we looked at his account. Homie had millions of thousands of coins, and he had the whole list of like what's they called, the skateboards, the characters, the back, everything.
The keys.
All of it was unlocked. And we're like, how did this happen? And we gave him one of our tablets and downloaded Subway Surfers on it and let him have it. And he somehow jailbroke that too.
Oh, wow.
We still don't know how he did it.
I'm Ricky Watson, inviting you to join me for the next critical conversation, where we focus on the importance of mental health, making sense of your purpose, and doing the impossible. Tune in for our opportunity to be inspired, enlightened, and encouraged. Join the conversation on CAN TV Cable Channel 19 or stream live on cantv.org or on the CAN TV Plus app. Elevated conversation and storytelling. Experience the power of community television.
Y'all got to sit down with him one day and just watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Man. So, Kadince, you started leaning into this a little bit with talking about you make his lunches, but wanted to know more with having a sibling with autism. How has that shaped your role in the family? How has that impacted you as a sister?
To put it straightforward, mostly for me, before they were born, or like before his diagnosis, I wasn't that involved, I'd say. I know that, I was young, so there wasn't a lot that I could really do. But like when it came to conversations or like family outings, I'd be, involved, but I wouldn't be like that helpful. I'd just be in my own little world. But after he was born, I started to become more like trying to do more, or at least trying to understand like what can I do to help? Because seeing everybody stressed out and seeing me like doing whatever I am doing, you could start to feel bad, and it starts to feel like you're not doing enough. So then like you'll try to do more, or just see what more can you do to help in the situation. So if he's having a meltdown and, they're trying to calm him down and trying to figure out what's wrong with him, what can I do? Like, can I clean something up? Can I go put his blanket in the dryer to make it warm so when he go to sleep, it can calm him down even more? Or what? Sometimes I can get stressed out myself because it's like all the loud noises that he's able to make, and then everybody yelling and stuff like that, trying to figure out what's wrong and trying to calm everybody else down, it can stress me out too. I know that some days when he's upset, he'll like, it's rare now, but sometimes he'll like come in my room with his blanket and just lay on my bed and watch TV. I know that when that would happen, I'd usually like go in my room with him and we just like lay down and watch a Disney movie, and that'll usually calm him down. Some days I just tell him to go in my room and I'd give him the remote and turn the TV on, and I'll close the door and let him do whatever he wants to do. Yeah. Not caring about like how my room looks, because like he's gonna be calm at the end of the day, and that's honestly what started to matter.
So how have you been able to take care of yourself during the stressful moments? What does that look like?
not recently, I guess. When I walk home from school, so I'll like go home, relax, take my shoes off or whatever. I started like baking a lot to release stress and to help myself. Some days I'd be in like a cleaning mood, so I'd like clean the bathroom or clean my room or something.
For me, it's probably listening to music.
Oh yeah.
It's a huge stress reliever for me, and it kind of helps me decompress and woosah.
Yes. Do you have a go-to song?
I will go to group.
Okay.
I usually listen to Jagged Edge, or I will turn on India Ari, and it soothes me. Just helps me relax. Or Dante has a way of comforting you when he knows that you're upset or he sees that you're in a different kind of mood. So a lot of the times, and it'll kind of bring tears to your eyes, because a lot of the times he will literally run up to you and he'll just look at you and he'll hug you. And his hugs are astounding. It'll make you feel better, and it'll make you feel like nothing ever happened. Whether you're in a good mood, bad mood, when Dante notices that you're off, he runs up to you, he'll yell, "Kara," and he'll just give me a hug, and it brightens my entire day. Regardless of who did it or what happened. But I try my best to just keep myself in the realm, and I'll go take a nice hot relaxing shower, or I'll light a candle, or I'll just step into a corner and, it's okay. If it's raining, I'll go outside and I'll sit on the porch. And Dante, he'll come outside and sit on the porch with me as well. But I just try to remember and just make sure I maintain myself regardless of the trying moment that I might have during the day.
When you think about your relationships outside of your family, like friendships, maybe colleagues or associates, and they meet Dante for the first time, do you try to explain, or do you watch and see how the interaction goes? And the reason why I ask that, because sometimes there can be this protective factor over the sibling against other people who may judge, right? Yeah. So curious about how you all engage with those outside of your household when it comes to your brother.
Usually when it comes to my friends, I let them know immediately. I have a brother. He is autistic and he has global developmental delay. I typically let them know how that looks and what it means before I even allow them to come over. And when they do first interact with him, my guard is immediately up. I'm protective over him because I want to make sure what I explain to you, you see and you know how to handle it. Because a lot of people, they can hear it, but when they see it, it's an immediate different reaction. And I want to make sure it's the best reaction that it can be. So I make sure I explain it, and I'll tell Dante, hey, this is Raina. And Dante give him a hug, say hi, Raina. And then throughout the day, and with them being there, they see Dante, they know Dante, and they're able to interact with Dante and know what it's like or how it feels or what it is that's happening.
What about for you?
I'd say the same thing. I let them know, like, if they ask about family or anything, I'd make sure to tell them about Dante first. Like, he's autistic. He doesn't speak that much. He has a different way of processing things, and so I remember one time, a friend of mine, she wanted to come over my house because I've been over her house a lot. And I remember being scared for her to come over because we haven't been friends for that long. And I was scared that she'd see how Dante is, or it'd be Dante would have a bad day and she'd see how Dante has a meltdown and stuff like that. And she'd immediately become judgmental on me and my family. And I'd have to end my friendship with her. And we're still friends now. We don't talk that often, but we're still really close. And I would say that it's weird, because as much as people would say like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense, I get it, it's always going to be a different reaction from how they hear it to how they actually see it happening in real and not in live action. Some people will like just be weirded out and be like, why is he acting like that? Some people would be like, oh, okay, this is what you meant. You know, I didn't expect this, but this makes sense. And other people just, they don't even say anything. They just walk out. They don't
could
care.
be very judgmental.
How do you manage that fear that you just mentioned about losing friendships?
I'll bring like Dante in the room with me, and I'll like have him say hi to whoever I am with on the phone. Or if Dante's having a bad day, then I'll sometimes leave my phone alone, if that makes sense. I'll like tell the person who I'm on the phone with, like, hold on, you know, Dante's upset, I'm gonna go help out with him or whatever. So they can like understand like, oh, okay, so if he gets upset, they're most likely gonna leave. Or sometimes if he still does get upset, you know, I won't put my phone away and I'll just put it in my pocket but still leave myself unmuted so they can hear like how everything happens. But that's usually with people like super close to me. Like I remember one of the first days that my boyfriend came over, we were baking a cake and Dante was slightly upset that day. It wasn't really like that huge, but he was upset and he was asking me like, why is he acting like that? It wasn't in a disrespectful way. It was in like a extremely like curious way, like I'm confused. And I was telling him like, Dante, he's most likely just upset about the TV or stuff like that because he likes to rewind the TV on a certain moment. And you know, we can't let him keep doing that because people want to watch TV. So he's going to be upset about that, or how he wants candy and he can't have candy right now. And I remember him asking like, what's his diagnosis? Like, why does he act that way? Or is there any way like that therapy could help him? And I was like, we have him in therapy, but it's not going to be like an overnight thing. It's going to be like a couple of days, months, or even years that he can like understand like, okay, I can't do this, but I can do this instead. It can be nice too, because once they like fully understand, and once you understand like, oh, they're not leaving, they can be much more of a support. So if you tell them like Dante's having a meltdown because he wants to play with this one toy and he can't, they'll be able to like comfort you, and they'll be able to be with you and understand what you're going through.
Yeah. What do you most admire about yourself being a sister to your brother and also Dante? So what do you admire about yourself in this journey of being a sibling with special needs, and what do you admire about Dante?
I admire the fact that I'm able to navigate through it. A lot of the times, especially when I was younger, I never seen myself being able to accommodate to him, or adjust who I am to ensure that he's getting the best thing that he may need. Something that I might admire about Dante, though, is his ability to know when someone is not having a great day or when somebody is a little bit off. I admire a lot of things about him. I admire the fact that doctors once told us he would never be able to talk, and today he's talking. It might not be fully, but day by day he opens up more and he says more things to us. He'll let us know, I want some oatmeal, I want noodles, I want cake, I want cookies.
Yeah.
There was a time where I came home and Dante he looked at me, he waved, and he walked away. Now when I come home, he looks at me, hi, Karen, he gives me a hug. I don't have to ask for it.
Yeah.
I admire the fact that my brother challenged himself to be able to do things like nocturnal people and, to be able to talk and walk, and he takes a challenge every day and he moves up from it. He's able to do things on his own. And once we were told that he wouldn't be able to.
Yeah. Thank you.
One thing I admire about myself is my patience, because I used to be like, I wouldn't say I used to be like very impatient, but I will say that I didn't have as high of a patience as I have now, especially with Dante. He can make me very upset at times, and as much as I want to like scream at him and yell at him and stuff like that, I'll be able to tell myself, I can't do that. I have to make sure that the way I treat him and everybody else is fair, and because he also won't completely understand what I'm yelling at or why I'm yelling at him. And I admire that Dante proves people wrong. He was able, one day in therapy, Dante was naming animals. My mom told me about this. She showed me a video, and he was able to name like every single animal, even though we've never told him the name or what the animal looks like. And the name of the animal wasn't on the book either. It was just a picture of the animal. He was able to name each and every single one. Again, with what Kara said, doctors was telling us how he wouldn't be able to speak at all. And now he's saying, his colors, his months, his days of the week, animals, what he wants, what he needs. He'll say like if he's sad or if he sees somebody else sad. He'll say if he wants mom, dad, LaKara, me. He'll say if he wants to see the cat or if he wants to see grandma. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm so appreciative to the both of you, LaKara and Kadince. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for sharing your lived experience with being a sibling of a sibling with special needs. As we wrap up today's conversation, I want to thank both of you again, LaKara and Kadince, for sharing your unique perspectives and experiences as siblings of a sibling with special needs, especially navigating the complexities of autism. Your stories have shed light on the incredible love, patience, and resilience that siblings bring into their families every day. One of the most important takeaways from our discussion is the understanding that siblings of children with special needs face their own challenges, but they also develop deep empathy, strength, and connection that shapes who they are. You both exemplify that so beautifully. For anyone listening, if you're a sibling in a similar situation, know that your feelings are valid, your role is important, and you're not alone. Support is out there, whether it's through family, friends, or a community of others who understand your experience. Thank you all for tuning in. If you found value in today's episode, please share it with someone who might benefit from it. And as always, remember to take care of yourself while caring for others. Until next time, I'm Bianca, and this has been another episode of Behind the Confident Smile. Stay well and stay connected.